Hi, this is Alexander Samarlov, beach volleyball player from Latvia, and you're listening to A Space.
Hello, yes, it's that time of the week again. Welcome to the A Space. We are back in business once more with another episode of one of the world's best volleyballers. We just can't help but bring you the best names in the game week in, week out. I am Louis Lett, and I am today's host. On other occasions, we've got Dave Rogers, and we are always joined by one of our CV legends, Matt Rogers or Dan Meanley. Today, we are with Matt. Matt, welcome back.
Hi, Louis.
Ages. How are you?
It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, really good. Really good. Excited for this one. The Lion King is one of my favourite movies.
Oh, one of my favourite beach volleyballers. So, there you go. We've given it away. Just so you guys know, these episodes are being recorded remotely due to the current situation. These will be going out alternately with our unscripted and debate series, which come out on a Friday. So we've already called it. We've already had him in before. The Lion King, Alexander Samoilos from Latvia. Welcome back to the A Space. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody.
How do you
Thanks
do that?
for inviting me.
Have you got that one in the locker?
What, a lion's roar?
Yeah, I haven't got it.
Lion's roar.
No, I'm not sure I've got that in the locker. With the kids, I do like trains and cars and boats. That's kind of what we're onto at the moment.
For sure. I'll keep working on my lion's roar by the summer. So yeah, world junior champion, 3-time Olympian. You've done just about everything. A European champion in 2015. And today we're talking about the beach volleyball evolution through the years. So throughout your career, this game has surely changed quite a bit, hasn't it, Lion King?
Yeah, it's true. Especially game became much bigger. So like higher height. Like when I started to play in the profession 2005, like Ricardo was a huge guy. Hayer and yeah, so Hayer was 204 centimeters. I don't know how much is in feet, and he was like giant. And now we have like 10 guys more than 210, and if before okay, is this big guy, so probably if he's so tall he will be bad setter, so will serve all his partner, or he will be terrible with the float serve. And now these guys like 210, 214, 216, they have perfect setters, they are coordinated, they have really good passing, and they can do everything. And to play with these guys becomes every year harder and harder because they're so technical, so skilled. And at the same time, when they come to the net, you put like this, and they come and measure net before the game. They're there. So the place where I have to jump my maximal power, they're already standing there.
That's unbelievable. How have you had to adapt your game to sort of go with these changes?
Yeah, so after few years, I realized that, especially when I started to play with Smedins, so before I realized that it's really hard to play the way I used to play, just to go and spike every second ball, because I wasn't like a good shooter, and I was always like more like powerful volleyball, and that's why I was like always hitting the ball and very rare shooting. And just when I realized that, okay, these guys becomes bigger and bigger, and it's harder to play against blocks like this. So I understood that, okay, I need to develop my shooting skills at the first, and then the second thing, I need to develop maybe to play some fast balls, to play my volleyball a little bit, to play much faster. But that when we came together with Yanis, the first thing my father, who was a coach of our team, he said, like, first thing, we need to start doing finger set, because before we were doing only bump set. Like all Latvian players, they were always doing bump set. And once I asked Estonian players who was fifth in the world ranking when we just started, Kais Vesik, I asked, why you're bump setting? And they said, but look, even Emmanuel is bump setting always. Because if the game is so even in beach volleyball, so one point can be a decider if it's 21-19 or it's 19-21. So if your finger set is not 100% perfect, then every time you set, you risk to make a mistake, and you make one mistake and you lose this point, it can be crucial. So until the moment you don't have perfect finger set, do bump setting.
But hand setting has so many advantages to it.
Yeah, that's true. And this is the first thing my father said when we came together with Yanis. He said, like, I want you to do finger set. And not only finger set, I want we play fast balls, set behind, and I want we do jump set.
Yeah.
And for us was like all our like first, how many, like we started in 2012, so 7 years of our careers we were only bump setting, and now my father wants us to make a finger set. And then every day we did like thousands of settings. We had heavy ball for setters that is 2 or 3 times heavier than the regular ball, so we do like 20 times heavy ball, 20 times the regular set, 20 times heavy ball, 20 times regular, 20 times fast with heavy ball, 20 with regular. And every day I was like, after 2 months in training camp in Egypt, I was like, oh, please no setting anymore. And when we started to have really good finger set, we started to do jump setting, like hundreds, thousands of repetition jump setting, doing like repeat 100 times. First session starts with setting, finish with setting. Second session setting, and so on.
How did that develop your game? How do you feel you improved with that change?
Yeah, so we first of all we start to play faster, and it means like all these big guys, all these blockers, they're not like sit and jump maximal. So we started to attack a lot of second balls in 2013. Because most of the players started serving me, and if I play 7 games in a tournament and all the time, and we also split blocking. So every time if I serving, jumping and serving, jumping every attack and blocking jumping, so I can say bye-bye to my knees in 1 month. And so it was really good for me that I can receive on second. So we were developing a lot of reception on second ball, because when you're attacking second ball, you're attacking mostly without a block. Yep. So it's easy. If you're athletic like Yanis, he's super athletic. So for him, it was big advantage if he attacking without a block, or I have attack against Evandro or Dahlhauser. So it was big difference. So we were developing these second balls a lot, and then we put extra jump set. So we like perfect how it should be. Like every attack should be without a block. Like in effect, like what my father said, like perfect. If we attacking, we score 21 points. We score all the balls without the block. So you receive.
Has that ever happened? That's a top one. Though.
It's like Karchkarai said. I like when he won everything. Like people were asking, like, what? How you get motivation to? Said like, I never won 15-0, 15, like all school rules, 15-0, 15-0. I never won, so I always have a place to improve. So,
there's always an avenue to get better.
Yeah. So like the perfect is you receive on second, Yanis attack without the block, or if a block jump on him, he shows that he is attacking, and at the same time he turns and make a jump send, and I'm attacking without a block. And actually, it's happening pretty often.
Sounds like a dream for you, Louis, doesn't it? Attacking with no block.
Yeah, I wish the less I would ever have to spike, the better. every rally is a mega rally with me on the.
I have a question around the finger setting. When you started to do more and more finger setting in the tournaments and stuff, did you find that it increased the pressure as you got towards the end of a set? Because obviously at 2020 to finger set, you are taking that risk, as you said. Do you think the number of finger sets went down as you went towards an end of a set, or fairly stable?
For me, it was, I think, because we did so many repetitions that it went like so automatically, and I felt so confident about it, because I said like, okay, I did it 10,000 times and I know it's perfect. I did it 1 week before. I did all the week I was doing the set and I didn't have any mistake. So why should I have mistake now during the game? For sure, maybe at the beginning it was a little bit not confident, maybe some super spinny balls, or when it was raining, I was like, Oh no, okay, bump set. But then my father said, like, what are you doing? Like, no, don't do bump sets. Continue with the finger set. He said, like, okay, do a mistake, but do it confidently, not like, and not to choose finger or bump.
I have to say though, sometimes players make it too easy for referees, don't they? Because they'll do the action and instantly they know it wasn't perfect, and they'll kind of like wait for the referee. Whereas if you do it confidently, there's a chance they just let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was good. Like that we started to do, and that year it wasn't that strict. Like it was 15, 16. I think 15, 16 was super strict, and now they came back to like it was 2013. So it was like not super strict, because I think 2015, 2016 it was like minimum rotation was double touch.
I remember it.
Do you think the game, in your opinion, is better when it's less strict than when it's really strict?
Yeah, for sure, especially with a finger set, because most of the people who are not deep into beach volleyball, like for example, okay, I come with my girlfriend to beach volleyball. I'm a fan of beach volleyball, and I take my girlfriend to the game. I explain the rules, and then referee whistles, and half of the stadium looking, and
No,
happened. Like, yeah, why is a whistle? What's happened? So it's a little bit, this rule is like people don't understand like what's happened, what's the difference between mistake and not a mistake. It's hard for people who are not deep into beach volleyball to understand what's even like players in my beach box camps. They ask, what is where is this place between lift and double touch? I said, like, it's always a referee decision. It's hard to explain.
Because it's one of the more subjective ones, isn't it? And beach probably has less than volleyball in terms of those subjective decisions. So, yeah, I can understand it's difficult. As a player, how did you deal with it when there was a referee decision on one of your handling things that you didn't agree with?
What can you do? You can just get, especially now. I told already a story from in previous episode about my experience with this referee when the players are talking with the referee, because back in the days, like 10 years ago or like 15, it was allowed to speak with the referee and pretty long and argue. And it was, I know a lot of players like Mark Hees and Hoydalen from Norway, already they finished, but they were able to change so many referee decisions just because they were so good in talking. They knew rules so good that there was like, I experienced it, talking, and then in one moment, referee realized that, oh, I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong, because they're all the time like explaining and talking. Nowadays, you just come to the referee, whistle, go, say second word, yellow card. One more word, red card. So no discussions, no discussion about. Okay, if you're a player like experienced players, when you know these referees, because also we're like one family, and the same referees, we go to from one world tour to another, and that way they know us also personally, and so it's easier for us maybe to ask for explanation or to ask and check a ball mark. When you're a young player nowadays, you ask for a ball mark. No, I made a decision. You ask to explain you something, yellow card, go back on court. It's super strict.
You have to take it and move on.
Well, all of that is based on speed, isn't it? They want the games to be fast. That's the whole idea, to remove the dead time.
It's all about television.
Yeah,
it's all about television, speed up. No, I completely understand.
So
and also,
it should be.
12 seconds.
Says a commentator.
It's less time to fill the gaps. Like more action.
Do you feel that the way that you played, like I remember, so following the sport for a long time, I would look at the Australians, like Shoddy and Josh, like moving the ball wide, and everyone was like, "Whoa, look, they play dangerously, or they play on the edge and they move the blocker." I then feel that you guys were one of the teams, hence this is one of the subjects, to move the game forward again, and then Cantor Wojciech taking it forward as well a little bit. And do you feel you guys moving it on, the world have gone, wow, and now it's going to start to go again to another level and to new things?
For sure. for sure it is. And yeah, I remember when we started to do this, all this. But with Australian Sharks Luck, when when I started to play beach volleyball, there was like, wow, they were doing all the time. What the difference is was what I don't understand. Like shocked, he was jumping like kangaroo. Like I remember, there was a picture. He's jumping like the same pictures now we have of Maul, like this crazy, unbelievable, like net over here, and he's just over more than that. Like his neck is over the net. Like for indoor it's normal, but for beach volleyball it's not normal when you're jumping from the sand. And he was making jump set in any place of a court, even if reception on the back of a court, he still was jumping and setting. But I don't understand, he wasn't hitting a lot on two, so he was jump setting to make it a little bit like, to speed up, but still he was jump setting and still giving high ball. And I was looking at it like, what's a sense for a jump setting if you're still giving a high set or you're not attacking second balls? It doesn't make sense. But I really like it stayed on my mind about this, and it stayed in the head of my father that this jump setting, actually we can use it for to develop our game. And because we are pretty small for beach volleyball, we decided to use this as a weapon. And the next level is what Carambula Rossi did last year.
And that leads forward to a future question in a moment, because you've now started being coached by Marco Salustri, which obviously shows your intent to change your game and to work big angles and to run fast plays. And yeah, how's that going? Like, do you feel the first question, how was it leaving being coached by your father, who's obviously brought the game and your game forward so much, but B, how is it going into playing with Carambula Rossi and their extravagant way of playing? And why did you pick Marco Salustri?
So when I started to play with Yanis and we started to do this jump set and attacking second balls, and it was in 2013. But then after like few years, we lost a little bit our style. We started to play more just a regular ball. Okay, we're attacking second ball, especially with a short serve, but we are not using it the same way we did it in 2013, 2014. And maybe that's why we also dropped in the ranking. And I think because my father, he's now in Latvia, he's the only coach in beach volleyball. He has so much team, like all top teams now. He's coached by all top teams. And I felt a little bit that he's not too much into our team anymore. And I'm already like 19 years I'm coached by him. And I never was coached by any other coach in beach volleyball. So I think like, okay, I don't want to celebrate 20 years anniversary with the same coach. And I said, like, I feel like I need new look on me, new look on our team so we can move forward, because last season was beginning of a season was terrible for our team. And we felt that a little bit like our coach is a little bit away from our team, and we just, me and Yanis, and we started to have like small conflict with each other. And we felt that we need to bring fresh blood into our team. And so we were looking to the coaches around World Tour, and we were looking for a coach that we knew we gonna have a respect, because it was really important for us that we really respect a coach that is really high level, and that also we know from many teams and who have results. And I know Marco since he was working with the Russian team, Barsuk Kaladinsky, in 2007, 2008. And because we were practicing together with them, and they were always beating me really hard. So, and they were always playing completely different, and they were always playing against me uncomfortable way. Like I play with the teams, and then every time I was playing against Russia, I felt they play completely different and very uncomfortable for me. So so I understood that it's really good. They have really good scouting of me, and that's why Marco was always in my mind. And before Moscow, we came and we asked him if he is ready to work with us. And also we needed a coach who is not connected to national team, because it was already in the middle of Olympic qualification, and we needed a coach who is, how to say, freelancer, who can just decide on his own, because we have our federation unfortunately don't have funds to support us, so we are owned by our own. So by coaches on our sponsors and our own money. So for us, it was important to have a coach who is a freelancer, so it's easier to communicate, and he's not have to deal with his federation. So Marco was our first pick. We had few more, but Marco agreed, and I'm really good friend with Adrian Carambula. We were good friends with the team Rangheri Carambula, but unfortunately they split. They had a conflict, but still I have really good relationship with both of them, and that's why, yeah. So it was good also for Carambula. I asked, like, we can have really good sparring with each other and practice together and reduce our costs. So I think all three parts are win-win situation.
How did that conversation go down with your dad? Is it something that you brought up, I'm assuming, based on what you said? How was it received?
Yeah, spoke about that a little bit.
So yeah, actually it was I had three really complicated conversations in my life. So first was in 2008 when I came to my father when he had we talked about this in a previous episode, that when we split with Plavins, but our Latvian Olympic Committee said in 2008, they said you have to stay till Olympics and you have to try to qualify to Olympics. So the decision was of Olympic Committee and Federation and Plavins and me that we bring another coach. We bring a coach assistant into our team, and it was the first talk, and everybody said, "Okay, Alex, and go and talk with your father about this." And I said, like, okay. Because everybody was afraid, because my father, he's really dominating, and federation afraid of him, and nobody wanted to talk with him. And so I said, okay, you need to talk with him. So it was the first conversation. I came to him and I said that we need another one more coach and stuff like this. So it was the first conversation. Second was when I proposed my wife. So it was another
completely different type of conversation.
Stressful conversation, because I wasn't sure if to say yes or no. And the third one was again with my father about that I am leaving. And yeah, I think he still can forgive me this, and but we in a good relationship, and but he thinks that I will come back. He said, okay, it's just a short period of time. We will see.
But he's still supporting you, right? And he's still like so supporting.
Yeah, he's still supporting. He's still sending me messages, and he's like, now he's inviting me. He's saying, like, come to practice anytime you want with us, and because now we're practicing separately, and that way, no, we have a really good relationship, and he's waiting. He said, like, in the moment Yanis will finish, you're always welcome to play with your brother. I will be coached by me.
That's one of the questions I've got here later on. Samoilovs. What do you reckon?
Maybe it will happen. Maybe it will happen with my kids.
Yeah, you are beach volleyball in Latvia. That's for sure. The Samoilovs family. How's it going with Marco early on? Enjoying it?
Yeah, we really enjoy. Yeah, and he brings like, we're putting our fast game on the next level. Like, we really develop, because Marco really wants us to do like I told you before, like 21 points without a block. And he wants us that we are not using just half of a court for one player. We need to use all courts. So a lot of setting behind and faking, and the maximum, like, every move should be fake. Like, it shouldn't be like standard move. Like, you need to try every set. You need to try to make a fake, like attack second, pokey, just set behind or throw the ball over the net. Like, every move should be fake. This is the only way how we can play against blockers like Tole, Stoyanovsky, or Mol.
I mean, I think that the game is becoming more and more like indoor, like the second. And I've always thought this, like, did you ever find, like, you're trying to run the two ball, like indoor team for people who love both on here, like myself, like they run the middle. Because in indoor volleyball, you run the middle and the middle blocker stays and you hold the middle. And then it's easier for the wing spikers. It's exactly the same running the two ball on the beach. If you can hold the blocker 1 minute, it becomes easier to side up. Like it's a very similar game. For me, have you ever found, is there anything that really makes it difficult to run the fast game? Like, is there anything you're just like, that stops you running the game that you want to play?
For sure, weather condition.
Mm-hmm.
It's weather condition are always affecting beach volleyball game. It's a big difference comparing with indoor volleyball because you can make a plan for the game and then it's a crazy wind and all your plan is just throw the basin. Or you can see, okay, we do setting like all this jump setting and you play in a heavy rain and you can forget about finger set and you need to start bump setting and all what you did in off season.
So it's sort of linking to my next question is like, where is the balance between moving this game forward and actually being like, whoa, hang on, this is not achievable today. Like there's a balance, right? It can't be.
Yeah, it's another thing that what my father always said. My father was always against scouting. He was also saying that we shouldn't scout opponents. We need to scout ourselves and we need to develop our skills. And he said, like, I always want you to be like jazz players, not like classical player, music player. Like you get a note and you play by notes. No, I want you to be like a jazz player. We just say your topic and you can play this music. So the same beach volleyball, I want you to teach everything in beach volleyball so that you can do everything, that you can do float, jump, jump, float. You play defense for strong balls. You can play defense with the fingers. You can block, you can attack, you can make a shot, pokey, like all different movements in beach volleyball. You know how to do it and you use them. So as more weapons you have, as more developed athletes you are, and the more you can adapt. So it's not like, oh, okay, it's wind, so I don't know how to play in the wind. Oh, it's raining, so we don't have chance to win. Or so you adapt to the opponents and you adapt to the situation you are in the court.
Yeah, I think it'd just be refreshing for our listeners to know that, like, if they're running all this, there's a time where you can't keep running fast and wide, and it doesn't fit anymore because of the conditions or however the opponents are playing or etc. So it's
but I think this like wind conditions always is bigger advantage for smaller player who have better ball control, because in this case when it's windy, then all players become the same height, and all these big players, because they not so coordinated, they don't have such a perfect ball control. So in this case, small players, they have more chances to win.
Are you telling me that's I've got to try and find somewhere really windy and then I can come back?
So Marseille, back in the days, Marseille would be your favorite tournament.
Yeah, Marseille would be great. Yeah, I might be able to keep going somehow.
The only time in my life a tournament was canceled because the wind was in Marseille. I experienced that we played on a center court, and I think how the Rogers played, and the one stand of a flag, the wind was so strong that it just broke and like a javelin just hit the sand. And the referee just looked at this and said, and they canceled for 2 days. They canceled tournament. We were sitting in a 5-star hotel just eating and not practicing.
And I have a
conversation about quarantine, about being like overeating in quarantine.
I have a question on weather. Let's say that you're in the Olympic final in Tokyo and you could choose the weather. What would you want?
With wind, hot and windy.
Hot and windy. I guess it would also depend on your opponent as well, wouldn't it? Because you wouldn't want an opponent that had those strengths. So
I don't care. Hot and windy.
Hot and windy.
Condition for me.
Okay. Hot and windy. I wouldn't have expected the wind, but okay.
Why?
And then I choose, and if I choose one, I choose windy.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any?
I was going to say, is that a trust in your own adaptability to wind versus other players?
Or is it
Because it's pretty windy in Jurmala, in my hometown where I grew up. It's pretty windy, so like since my first steps in beach volleyball, I was practicing in the wind, so I feel I feel wind pretty good. And I did me and Yanis, for 3 years we were doing windsurfing during our camps in beach volleyball. So it's also give you extra understanding of wind. And so windsurfing was really good experience for me. And so we feel pretty good wind.
I went to Jurmala for the under 23s or the under 22s Europeans. Yeah, and it was pretty windy over that time. Very windy.
Yeah, my brother won.
Yeah, he definitely did. And he was awesome. There were some very good games.
I lost my voice during this tournament.
It was a great tournament. Great place for beach volleyball. Like perfect.
Do you have it's
supposed to be world tour last week in Jurmala.
Yeah, of course. Do you have a family WhatsApp group, just out of interest, with your brother and your dad? Do you have a separate one? Family. Separate one for non-beach volleyball stuff, or do you just mix it all in?
Because we have actually this group was developed when we got married with my wife. So we have family group with her family and my family all together.
Yeah.
First of all, it started because of like family dinners when we started to have.
That's always good.
But because all my family is like so deep into beach volleyball, so that's why like beach volleyball becomes a little bit part of it. But still, we have a team chat. So team chat is like only about training sessions and like competition and stuff. And family, it's most just
So you do keep it separate a certain bit.
Yeah.
All right, Louis, can we go a bit more general? I've got a bit more general about the sport as a whole. So I'm interested in your view on beach volleyball's position in like the global sporting context. Like when you say to someone, "I'm a beach volleyball player," what kind of reaction do you generally get if they don't follow the sport?
First was people. Now it's a little bit different. I would say like 15 years ago, when we all started, like everybody was surprised that it's Olympic sport. Like, oh, it's Olympic sport, and so always like when you say, and they always surprised that you're only two people, because also all of them know beach like indoor volleyball, and then beach volleyball for them are like, only two people, and so they're surprised. And so the most two things surprising for them.
Because when you get to the Olympics, it goes massive, doesn't it? Beach volleyball. I mean, like I followed.
It's so popular and.
Yeah, I followed 4 Olympic Games, and it's always one of the kind of the hot tickets, the one that everyone wants to be at, because of the atmosphere, the environment, the setting, and the sport.
And what athletes in Beijing, when I first qualified, like other athletes from our team, they were surprised and said like, it's so good that you sit so close to the stadium, like to the court. Because and so like in basketball, for example, or in indoor volleyball, because of these rules, like how far away should be, like there is a place for a court, after the court, and the banner, and then after banner and some extra space, and then the seats, and you're like, even if you're in the first row, you're sitting like 20 meters from a court. But in beach volleyball, because it feels like stands a little bit higher, and it feels like you are sitting just next to the court. It's really good, I think. With, for example, like NBA, when they have this chair, for sure for athletes, it's a little bit more like dangerous to get injuries when you jump for the ball. You're still in the on the spectators, but for the atmosphere, you're closer to the court, to the action, and the same for athletes. You're playing and you're surrounded with the people. You are inside the crowd. So atmosphere is number one thing.
Would you say beach volleyball was an individual or a team sport?
We talked about this in the previous episode. So
did you?
That's what I was saying. That it's from one side, it's a team sport because I'm not alone, so it's two. But from the other side, it's individual because there is no substitutions.
Yeah.
So it means like if something happening with you, if you have bad day or something bad happened in your family and you're not in the mood, there is no possibility to make substitution. So for this side, it's individual sport, and but from the other side, there is 2 players at least, and then there is a coach, there's assistant, and other teams that make it feel like a team sport.
Yeah, it is a bit of both, like a team individual or something like that. I don't know how
Yeah,
can mix
Latvia,
those 2 words.
We have sport award, we have team, individual, and individual teams. So teams when you're not able to have substitution.
Yeah. And how does your life change? I mean, we talked there briefly about how the Olympics is so big in the beach volleyball cycle. How does your life change as an athlete in an Olympic year, especially obviously qualifying and then preparing to go?
Mostly media changes the most because usually like Olympics is a sport event when people who are not into sports start following, and that's why brings a lot of media attention and a lot of interviews, and also our sponsors, they have like double of media events, and so it takes much more time for us. It takes a lot of free time for media events. So some players are good for with it, and some really suffer. I know.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
You don't mind it? You accept it part of the job?
Yeah, I don't mind. It'd be really bad if I say no. It's really bad.
On the 3rd episode, yeah.
On the 3rd
episode. I think you have a good career in it lined up after whenever you finish playing. When we talked about in the previous episode about what should you do, we never even talked about the media. You'd be great. It'd be perfect.
We will see.
Have you ever done any co-commentary or anything?
We tried the King of the Court. We had this King of the Court event, and in Huntington, they tried to do, but actually it's really hard. It's easy to answer question when you know what to answer, and it's much harder to ask people, because especially people you don't know. Okay, for sure, and I believe when on your level you're preparing, you investigate, you get some information, and maybe it's easier. But for us, they just said, okay, go and ask questions. And okay, I can ask questions for men, but when they send me for female players, and it's like, what should I ask? I don't know them personally a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think the topic, like the thing is the longer you do something, like the easier it gets, and the more, like I've taken a lot more pride over the years of like preparing and writing a great intro or writing some great fillers in between that are adaptable, and then getting to know, like even just by having this conversation, like for sure now it's.
So the next time you do commentary on their team, you're going to be remembering this.
I'm going to get it like,
well, he told me once.
Yeah, so there's now he wants me to play in the medal matches, so he has a lot of content to tell.
Yeah, I do. But if you don't make the medal matches, then you're going to come and sit with me as well. Just a quick question for me: out of world volleyball, who do you think the main contributors are to volleyball history? So you would look through, like I would say Sinjin, you would say Kaj. Like, who do you think is going to be those people throughout the years?
I would say Ricardo. So Ricardo was the most inspirational player for me when I was a kid. When I first started to watch beach volleyball on television, and at first I saw his game, and I think he played. It was a game when he played with Zemarco and Loyola, and I watched it, and I was already playing beach volleyball, and I look at these games and I said, like, unbelievable how he's playing and how good he was consistently for so many years, being a Brazilian where they have so strong inside competition. Mm-hmm. He managed to be number 1 for 15 years in Brazil. And so I think he making he was really inspirational person. And I think brothers Lasigas from Switzerland. So they were the first from Europe, like playing really good on a really high level. And they were the first team playing on a high level from a country that that are not like regular for beach volleyball. It's not like Brazil or USA. So I think, and so for me, when I started to play, so these guys are also okay. Even European team who have 4 months a year summer, so they can still be on the play on the highest level and get medals.
Yeah, I didn't even think. I didn't think of them as being a contributor. And future. Like, who's now? Would you say you guys? I would say I would put you guys in that list from Europe of people contributing to the sport and driving it forward through periods of time.
Thank you.
For sure. Like, I would say, if you're putting the Laskas in there, I would put you in there. I would put Paolo Nicolai, Lupo in there. I would have Bring Reckerman in there, and I would have the Vikings and the Russians in there as well.
Yeah,
well, I think they're
amazing.
definitely the future, aren't they? That, you know,
Definitely.
Vikings and amazing. Like, first thing that people were asking me about Mall, like, what's the key of success? And I said, like, when I first met him, because he's the same age as my brother. So my father came from under 18, so it was like, how old is it? 23. So 5 years ago, my father came from under 18 European Championship. I said, there is one guy. He was 17 that year. So my father came and said, there is one guy with super explosive muscles. So he's jumping like crazy. And he said, like, he probably will be a really, really good player and he'll play on a really high level. And my brother, 3 years in a row, he lost to Mall in the underage tournament. So for him was like, every time he gets, he's like, yeah.
And it proves your dad does like scouting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, he's not doing like scouting and drawing,
No.
but he's like Xray. Actually, what is the best thing about my father is that he's acting like an Xray. He really really good scanning players.
Yeah.
And when I first met Mall, and I said, oh yeah, I know my brother playing against you, blah blah blah. And he said, yeah, I want to play against you as well. I want to beat you as well as your brother. And the first thing that when I was talking to him, he was 20 years old. I was 32. The first difference, because I know my brother, I know his friends, like this generation, how they're talking, how they're acting. And the difference was when I was talking with the Mall, maybe it's because of his older brother or stuff, I talk to him and I don't feel that I'm talking to the kid. I feel that I'm talking with a 30 years old man, like how he's like his mentality and maturity and how he's seeing the game, how he's seeing the sport. And this is really like surprised me. Like, and I saw like, wow, this guy can be strong. And when they started to play main draw and they lost in the quarterfinal, this I heard from another from Swiss girls, that they came and Mall came and said like, I want to get medals now. So he was 21. I was thinking when I was 21, back in the day, I was thinking about to qualify for Olympics, to qualify for a main draw. But at the year of 21, he's thinking, no, he's not satisfied. He said it, he wants a medal now, because everybody is saying, okay, you have a bright future. In the future, everything will be just. I said, no, I want it now. I don't want to be in the future. I want now. And I think this also like, that's how he affected also Sorum. And this is how they become like successful now in 22 years old, winning European Championship and winning 10 tournaments out of 12.
That leads us wonderfully to our feature, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it does.
Our final feature is your perfect player. So, Matt, you know this off by heart.
Well, okay, so this is your perfect player. What we are looking for you to do is to build the player that could win in any game, any environment, any weather, based on our discussion. So yeah, you can have 6, 7 criteria. Tell us the criteria and then tell us the player that you want to take that attribute from. Go for it.
Yeah, so first I would say athleticism. It's Mall, because he's super athletic, how he's jumping, his muscle, how he works. He's very fast on court. And I really like how he's coordinated. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of moments like highlights when the ball in a very uncomfortable condition, and he's managed to turn and hit with the head, with the shoulder, with the leg, and so really good coordination. And so I think he's, as an athlete, he's the number one in the beach volleyball world right now. So then I choose block. Like block, I put Ricardo. And as I mentioned before, he was dominating with the block so many years. And because not also because he's so tall, because if you look now, like so many players who are like 15 centimeters taller than him, but how he's reading opponents, and the best, how he's doing all these movements, like when he's in the air, how he's moving his hands. Because if you look, like most of the players, they just go and put hands on the opponent side, but Ricardo and the same Mo was also doing a lot of pretty. So he's jumping, and in the moment of attack, he's moving almost every second time. He's moving, and even time I've seen that he moves to one side, and in the last moment he turns to the other side. So his block is really, really amazing. Actually, I was thinking like it would be a dream maybe to have some block sessions, but by Ricardo to get some experience.
Maybe you can get him on the beach box camp.
I invited him already, but he didn't answer.
I thought he might have done. Sure.
He texted Harley and said, "Hey, they invited me. What should I do?" I think because of his English, he's a little bit, and he's really shy. I played with him P4 That was King of a Court last year, and we played with him in the final stage. And it was such a huge pleasure for me to play with him, and I felt like back in the days when I was 15 years old guy and I was watching him on TV, and then now I play with him in one team, and it was an amazing feeling. Like I'm a professional athlete achieving so much, and I still feel like a kid. I was so stressful. We started to play, and I was stressful to make a mistake.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, third criteria.
Next one, I would say serve. Serve, the best serve, Evandro. For sure, he's dominating, and it's not only about his serve power, but I really like his placement, how precise he is with his serve. Not his, for example, we can say like Nikolai. He's also have really, really strong serve. He owns a fastest serve in beach volleyball, but Evandro is amazing with how he's putting. So many moments when he said 3 serves, 3 aces in a row. Left side, middle, right side. So all the different points. And another thing is what I like about Evandro. Actually, I don't like when he play against me. But if I look at him as a player, that he's really good server in the crucial moments. In Vienna World Championship, he won so many games at the end just with the serve. That in the crucial moment, when they're down 1 or 2 points, he's putting his best serve. So he's really good with the crucial moment to put the most important serve. The next one is Sorum with a side out. When 2 years ago, the Vikings started to win everything, and we have at the end of the year we have a voting when the players, officials, coaches are voting for best players, and there are different nominations. And I look at the results, and I was like, how it can be possible that Mol get the best attacker if Sorum gets 90% of all serves, and they're winning medals and get 90% of a serve, and he's not getting best attacker. It's not fair. And I look, he's a little bit underrated about his side out skills, because the way how he see blocker and defender is amazing. You can make a fakes, you can hide, but he sees so good. And it's so hard to play defense against him. He's amazing with side out. He's not the best spiker or the best shooter, but all in general, when you put him like a side out, he's really, really good.
Yeah, his vision is unreal, and his decision making from wherever he is on the net, he makes really good percentage decisions. Like all the time, he knows his percentages and he knows his options. Who's next? Defense. Is it defense?
Defense, can you guess? Lewis, what's your pick for defense?
Oh, great question.
Like I would look at transitions. So I would look at who kills the most balls in transition.
In transition is Casey Patterson.
Yeah.
He's the best in transition. Yeah, he's really good in transition. He's not that good in defense, but how good he can spike from 2-3 meters because he's tall and his wrist works so good. He was really good. But my pick is Guto.
You're not the first to pick Gudo.
Yeah, Guto, like he's so explosive and his dedication in defense. Like we played against him in the final in Espino, and after first set we won. We sit, and Yanis said, "If I will fall in the defense so much times at Guto, you would take me to the ambulance because he's running like crazy and jumping for." You feel like it's impossible to get the ball, but he's always jumping and running and try to get. And his dedication, like really, he tries to get every second ball and always sandy from his toes till his ears. And I really like how he plays in the defense and his reaction. And he's okay. Maybe his transition not that good after it, but he managed to get one ball after hour.
Yeah, if him, Taylor Crabb would be almost there, and that would be I don't know. Like
I would say Taylor Crabb have a better reaction for strong spikes because Taylor Crabb have amazing reaction. Like everything you hit around this area, almost every ball he gets. But Taylor Crabb is not running that much as Gudo. Like Taylor is running for the balls he really gets.
Yeah.
So it's very rare you see him running for balls he's not getting.
So who's next?
So next is ball control, Adrian Karambula. So these guys have amazing ball control.
Yeah.
Like we put this guy also in a windy condition. Like when the wind, how he works with the wind, how he uses the wind, all his spins inside the wind, outside the wind from both sides. And this guy with he's not tall, he always have extra weight, but the man he can play on the highest level because of his ball control, how he's controlling. You probably for sure you've seen his sky balls during the rallies. When the ball after defense gets and during the game he just serve a sky ball. How he's putting with all his both hands and pokey and shots. Like his ball is amazing. And we are practicing with him, and sometimes it's so fun to see how he's playing with the ball and just sitting and spinning a ball with it's really, really amazing.
We did an unscripted with him actually, and obviously the sky ball came up, and he mentioned training. Does he do the sky ball in training? Is it just like the same as a match? Okay.
Not often, and because this is also the ways that you probably have seen. You can watch him. That's really clever. He's do like during warm up. When he serve sky ball, you will never be able to try to receive his ball. It was always he asked his partner to go and catch a ball, or he asked his coach to go and catch a ball. So because sky ball, it's when you use this, it's easy to receive serve. Yeah. Even you can maybe give on second, but usually the weapon is first like 3, 4, 5 serves, especially first ones. Probably if you first time receiving the sky ball, it's like 90% you will make a mistake.
Take some time.
If you don't know the physics of how ball is moving, because if you just look, if you're a regular spectator, for you it just feels okay. Just go up really high and just go down. But people don't understand. They don't know about magnum effect. That in physics, because of a top spin, ball is going not straight down, but because it goes down, and in the last moment it goes under the net. So it goes inside because of a magnum, so-called magnum effect, different pressure in the air and the ball. And so first things as really, and that's why I think because we had as a team during training process, but at the same time we are competitors. And one day we meet on the court. But sometimes he started when it's strong wind, he serves and he just make a fun.
Yeah.
Because he serves, and when it's strong wind, it's really hard to receive, and he's just making laugh about us, serve, and see if we struggle a little bit with reception. He's ha 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 ha.
It's on his terms. Everything is
When
on
we
his
practice in Rome, people just coming just to come to watch practice because it's so much fun. Like with all our combination and fast balls we practice and trash talk we have during training. People just come, they take their drinks, and they sit and watch our games and our practice.
It's worth a watch. I think I'm going to be one of those guys on tour, but I'm never there on the practice days. So we've got Karen Buehler as ball control.
So we have Ricardo block, athleticism, mom, Evandro serve, Sorum side out, good at defense, and I have number 7 that is communication with a partner. And this is Jay Gibb.
I knew that was going to come. I was about to say Jay Gibb.
Jay Gibb, because I wonder, because Jay Gibb, if you look at the Jay Gibb, he's not super tall. His block is not really amazing. He's not like Dalhouser, the first thing that comes into your mind. He's side out. He's everybody knows that Jake have only 3 options for side out. He's using it the perfect way. So his ball control is okay. His reception is good. In general, he's a really good player, but anything specific you can't pick it's wow, it's super that first comes in your mind. But what is great about the Gibb, that always he managed to bring his partner on such a high level. He always squeezed so maximum out of his partner, and as a team, the same was with Rosenthal. After Rosenthal, when Rosenthal played with him, he was best defender in the world. When they split, even with Dalhouser, Rosenthal couldn't play on the same level that he played with the Gibb. When Gibb played with Patterson was just a regular player, but when he started to play with the Gibb, Patterson became one of the best players, and they started winning medals every second tournament. And it was the same with Grab. When Grab brothers playing together, Taylor was just regular defender, one of maybe 5th best defender in the AVP, and just one of the top 20 in the world. And when he started to play with the Gibb, he became one of the best defender in the world. So Gibb is managed to bring his partner on a high, to squeeze maximum out of his partner, and that was how he's succeeding as a team. So altogether, they're becoming really, really good.
Couldn't agree more with that. I've said the same before. You just see how much of an effect he's had on everybody around him.
I'm making joke, and I'm saying I came to Taylor and I said, watch, I think that Jake, he's a vampire. He's sucking energy out of his partners, because when he stopped playing with Rosenthal almost finished his career. When he stopped playing with Patterson almost finished his career. So I said, don't stop playing with Jake Gibb. Play as maximum as you can.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I couldn't agree more. That's the perfect player, and it is a perfect player as well. Lion King, thank you so much. It's been such a memorable experience to have you on the podcast, and thank you for just your knowledge, enthusiasm, and I think what I've learned is that you're such a hard worker and you're so open to learning, and I think that's quite inspiring for any of our listeners, just how hard you've worked and how many degrees you've got, and how off the court you've got so many opportunities going forward in life with whatever you do. So good luck when this gets back underway and you can get back on tour, and good luck in the qualification.
Hopefully meet on tour soon this year. I hope.
I believe that the Olympics is going to be yours, and that the Olympics is going to be a better place for having some Olof Schmedens there for sure with your new style of game. Matt, thank you very much for your time, knowledge, wisdom, enthusiasm. Always, this has been one to really remember for me, and it's been really, really great. To our listeners, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, suggest guests, and you can even send us the questions that we can use to talk to the world's best and ask some questions from you. Use the hashtag Let Volleyball Talk, and finally, from myself, Louis, let the A space in CV. Thank you for listening. Are we ready for one last roar from the Lion King?
Yeah.
There you have it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for inviting.